We continue to get to know some of the breakthrough talents heading into 2022 with big goals, with another doubleheader, this week featuring Denmark's Alberte Kjaer Pedersen and Brazil's Miguel Hidalgo, both of whom made a big splash in the Huatulco World Cup last year and can reflect on memorable 2021s. Our first 50 minutes are in the company of Alberte Kjaer, a fearless runner and World Cup winner for the first time in that Mexico race last year, and well set on an exciting trajectory in the sport, both individually and as part of the Danish mixed relay team that only narrowly missed out on qualification for Tokyo 2020. Alberte, welcome to the World Triathlon Podcast. How and where are you?
Thank you. I'm good. I'm just sitting back home in Denmark, in my apartment in Aarhus. And just came home from swim practice.
And just back from a training camp. Where was that?
At Club La Santa.
I'm sorry, you're gonna have to say that again.
There in the sun, and it was just nice to get a little bit away from the cold and rainy weather.
Where was it? Sorry, I didn't catch the name.
At Club La Santa, Lanzarote.
Oh, right. Yeah, an amazing place for just being able to have sort of 20 degrees and sunshine in the middle of winter, right?
Yeah, and there were so many Danish athletes there, so it was just nice to go.
Right. Yeah. Did you find there was like half the triathlon world was doing the same thing? Yeah.
Yeah.
Danish triathletes or other, from other sports as well, cyclists, runners and so on? Or is it?
Triathletes.
Right.
Mostly, yeah.
It's pretty much a triathlete takeover. So I think the last time I saw you, we were collectively getting lost in Huatulco Airport or Mexico City Airport.
Mexico City.
That was a confusing place. And looking back on, on that race, and would you say, obviously it was your first World Triathlon Cup win, and you've been on a, like I said in the intro there, on a long trajectory to where you are now. But as far as sort of your most complete race, would you say that was up there with one of your best performances?
Yeah, I think it was one of my best performances because it was just a nice day. I didn't expect it, and it was also pretty warm, but it was it was just everything played for me that day.
Yeah, it all clicked. And there was a lot on the line, obviously a lot going on around it, with the Olympic qualification and so on as well. So, which after, the sort of, I guess, disappointment of the Lisbon mixed relay qualification, where it was sort of touch and go, and obviously we'll come to that in a bit, but in an interesting sort of period for the sport and everyone sort of one eye on Tokyo, quite nice for you. Yeah. Did you feel like the pressure was off a little bit and you could just get out there and do that kind of performance in a place that you hadn't raced there before either, had you?
No. The national coach actually told me I was pretty close to the Olympic qualification because of the wide
roll down.
Yeah, exactly. And therefore he told me if I made a good performance, maybe if I was lucky and everything just played, then I could go to the Olympics. So I was just thinking, okay, I definitely have nothing to lose, but I have everything to win. I just have to do my best. And then it just went really good. So I was thinking, okay, now I have done everything I can and I can't do anything more. So fingers crossed, and I hope I will go to the Olympics, but I didn't go. But yeah, it was okay. But when I was watching the Olympics, then I really wanted to go anyway.
Well, yeah. So in the end, you weren't quite the sort of the next person in line, were you? I don't think there was one other there as well, but you were points wise, you were incredibly close at the end of all that, were you?
Yeah.
And obviously, part of that was the unfortunate injury, right? So you missed out a big chunk of that, the first half of the qualification period.
Yeah.
Knowing what you needed to do, that's got to be one of the most frustrating times to pick up an injury. What was the problem, and is that kind of completely dealt with now? Are you firing on all cylinders?
Yeah, I had the injury and we didn't know what it was for like 3 years, I think 3.5
Oh, right.
actually. It was
whereabouts?
I just had a lot of pain in my leg, and it was getting worse and worse for every year. And it was only the left leg, and it was just the pain was just, I couldn't see, or I couldn't tell exactly what it was or exactly how it felt. It was just weird and was really hurting. But when I stopped training or stopped doing competition for like 2 or 3 minutes, then the pain was gone and I could run away, run again, or bike again,
right.
or swim again. Yeah, so it was really confusing and really annoying. But then we figured out that it was the blood flow to the leg that was only 60%. So I got the surgery in November 2019. And then the Olympic qualification period was always halfway. But then I got the surgery and the coronavirus came. So the qualification period stopped. And I was like, okay, maybe if I have to be really patient and trust in the process, maybe I can go for the last part of the period when it opens up again. And yeah, I did that. And it was just nice with no pain in my leg, and it's just good now. So it's
right. So yeah, so after that obvious, that, you know, presumably a fairly set recovery period, that they said that, you know, you've had the operation, now just do nothing probably for a while, right? But then straight after that, yeah, those first sessions where you were coming back and not feeling the pain that you'd had for 3.5 years, that must have been a pretty good moment.
Yeah, really good. But in the first couple of the training sessions, I actually had the same pain, but then it was just getting better and better and better. I think it was just the blood flow all in the leg. It was just not working that good, but then it got better and better and better. And then, like, I think it was 8 months later, it was just no pain anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
So was it, you know, is it something that the doctor, did they say it was a pretty uncommon thing? How do you treat something like that? Is it about opening up arteries or veins, or?
Yeah, they took a vein from my left arm, and then they opened the artery in the leg, and then cut it up and took out there was some endofibrosis inside the artery, and then the vein on, and then it was fixed. I think.
Wow.
Yeah, but it was one of the first time the Danish doctor had to do it, so I was like, oh, please, you do it good.
So you're a guinea pig on top of everything. Yeah, Jesus. Yeah, so interesting. Yeah, we've done a couple of these sort of ones to watch interviews already. Spoken to Chase McQueen and Emma Lombardi and Jonga Lehmann, and a reoccurring topic is actually patience for different reasons. You've already said, you know, you had to obviously exercise a lot of patience in that recovery process when, you know, and there was some enforced patience from COVID as well that was kind of stopping you, probably fortunately getting back to it anyway. And, you know, for Chase, it was about kind of waiting for his time to break into the US team, when there's obviously, you know, a lot of very strong athletes out there that you know, you just got to kind of pay your dues, right? For you, the trajectory that you've been on has been, I suppose you could say, like a bit more classic, in that you were obviously identified very early on as a talent, you know, Nanjing Youth Olympic Games 2014, right? And you can sort of see that progression, and you've been obviously dedicating to triathlon for a very long time. And even, you know, at the age of 16, you were already Danish national champion, right?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure, but I think pretty early.
Yeah. So interested to hear those first, for example, Nanjing must still be a very kind of strong formative memory for you. You were 16, presumably. Like, how long had you been doing triathlon at that point? And for a 16-year-old, how massive was qualifying for a Youth Olympic Games?
It was really, really big experience, and I had been doing triathlon for 2 or 3 weeks, no, years.
Jeez, that would be good.
Yeah. Years, I mean. Yeah, so when I was qualified, it was one of my first international competitions, the qualification event.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got qualified, and it was just unexpected, but really nice. And we went there. I was going with my coach at that point, and he's still my coach actually. And my training partner is Emil Hidalgo.
Mm-hmm.
He stopped now, but he was really good in early on. So we went there, the three of us from the same city in Denmark, to the Olympics, or Youth Olympics in Nanjing, and it was just,
pretty wild.
Yeah, pretty wild.
And the qualification event was where?
I think it was in Werd in the Netherlands.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was your first time racing outside of Denmark?
Yeah, I think I was really excited about it. I'm still not the best swimmer, but I was even worse at that point. I was one of the last out of the water. And then I catched a big group on the bike. And then on the run, I was doing the fastest split. I think I won the qualification event. So from being the last one out of the water, or one of the last ones, and then finishing at the first place. So that was really nice.
Yeah, wow. And then from there to Nanjing, so you left Vert, job done there, and then what was that, just earlier in, so it was 2014 was the Nanjing?
Yeah, I think it was in May or June or something, and the Youth Olympics was in August, because I have to go for high school. I had to start for high school when I got back home, and I missed the first 2 weeks of high school, and the teacher took me aside and she told me, about what I want to talk a little bit about you with not being in school. Why haven't you been here? And I was like, oh, sorry, I had been at the Youth Olympics. And she was like, oh, okay, perfect. Don't worry, just go ahead.
You're good. All right. Can you come and tell us about that? Yeah. Nice. Meeting your fellow students for the first time and having that story to tell, right? I mean, was a big part of that just also the pride of pulling on the Denmark uniform for the first time, wearing the red, and yeah.
It was, you're not that old. I was pretty young, I think. It's still an honor to wear the Danish suit.
In the world of Danish triathlon, who are the figures that you look up to? Helle Fredriksen was a London 2012 Olympian, right? Long distance world champ, but you were obviously, like I said, national champ many years ago as a young'un. So perhaps Danish triathlon, were the men generally stronger, or were you just kind of rising to the top very quickly, and there was in fact a quite a large pool of Danish athletes as well? Or
I actually talked with my sister about that question, about the idols and that stuff, but I'm not. I haven't had like one idol or one person I was looking up to, but I have been more. I get inspired by a lot of people on different parameters, I can say. Yeah, so I could get inspired by one person for triathlon, or the swim part, or how you behave to other persons, or how you're doing your study, or how are you acting like a girlfriend or boyfriend, and that stuff. So I don't have like one person, but I just get inspired by a lot of people, I think.
Yeah.
But I've always been studying beside triathlon, so I think triathlon has been more like a free space or something like that for me. So it's it hasn't filled my whole world at any part of my life. It's just I have both.
Yeah. So you're still studying dentistry as well, right? Mm-hmm. So from that first weeks of high school that you missed for the Nanjing Olympics to now, you're still juggling the two. Has it got any easier?
No. It's only getting harder. But it's okay. We have in Denmark we got paid to study. Mm-hmm. So so it's okay. And we have like I'm studying at the Aarhus University, and we have something called Aarhus Elite Sport. It's they help us combine the sport and study, so we can always just call them and say, oh, I need your help for this, and then they will help us also with the exams. And if I have to be at a competition or something like that, and we have some on the study we have to be at, then I can go anyway.
Right.
Yeah, they can always help. So that's nice.
So you get that like flexibility of, right, I need a bit more time because of this or that or the other. Yeah. As long as the reason is good, presumably, then.
Yeah. And I'm only studying half part.
Yeah. Part-time. Yeah.
Yeah. Part-time.
Yeah. Okay. And so, at what stage are you in your dentistry studies? How long have you got left?
I have 1.5 years till I get bachelor, and then I need the master as well.
Oh, right.
A lot of time, yeah.
So get the bachelor's done, and then the masters could come a little further down the line to just.
Yeah.
Is it something that, could you say like, you're as passionate about that as you are triathlon? Obviously two very different things, but it's something that excites you. That.
Yeah. And I think maybe it helps me to look forward for a training session, because then I can just put the study away, and then I can go out for training. And then when I have trained and I have to sit down, it's just fine, because then I sit down and study. I'm not good at relax and sit down or be in the sofa and that stuff unless it has a purpose or something. So it's then it's good for me to study beside, because then I sit down and relax, and then I will be ready for the next training session.
Well, what a good, I think that's probably a good philosophy, a good message for other people in your position. That's very cup is half full. It's like, right, I've done training, now I can appreciate being able to just sit and study and vice versa.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes I just come to school and then I say, oh, I'm really looking forward to sit down today. And then we just sit down for 4 hours.
And so, and studying, will that just kind of stop at some natural point anyway in early summer, and then you have the summer off? Is it, or does it not really work like that if you're?
I think the final exam will be mid-June, so actually it will be at the same time as Leeds and Montreal, that part of the season. So it's really not nice, but I will figure out. Yeah. So normally we have holiday July, August. Yeah, July and August.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll work itself out, basically.
Yeah, it will work.
Yeah.
We'll figure out.
we were talking to Taylor Knibb a good few months ago, and she, I don't know if it was after Yokohama, or she won the race, got straight on the plane, and then just had to work the entire flight back home to then sit an exam the next day when she got in for a similar thing. It's I guess when you got to do it, then you just got to get through it, right? And it almost focuses the mind.
But that's the good part about airplanes, because you can get disturbed by your mobile phone or anything like that. You can just sit down and then write or read, and then
focuses the mind a bit, doesn't it? You're right. So if triathlon is only part of your world, how do you sort of motivate yourself to get out there and do the training day in, day out, and keep that ticking over?
Most of the time I have other people to train with. So both triathletes and runners and swimmers and that stuff. And sometimes my sister wants to go as well. So that's just cool. And it helps me a lot. But I always also like to go just by myself. It's okay just to get out in the nature. I'm not that huge fan of home trainer,
right,
and treadmills and that stuff. I just like to go outside and get and see the nature and get wet if it's rainy, and it doesn't matter. I'm just going outside, getting away from everything else and just go out.
So as far as your sort of early pool swims in the morning, then, is that, you said that's possibly your sort of weakest of the three, so are you just, like, as part of that, just motivated to improve as well, and to feel like you can leave that session knowing that you've made a bit of a step forward?
I think it's funny about that, because my biggest point is the swim, and I like to go swimming, but it's always also hard to go swimming sometimes, because it's your weakest point, so it's both motivating to get better, but it's also hard to go there because you're not that good at it. So it can be, that's challenging, I think, where I always like to go for a run. I haven't been out running and then thinking, oh, today I don't want to.
Right.
It just, I love running, but swimming is more like, I have to do it now. But I will always do it, but it's sometimes more hard to go there because I know that I'm not the best one.
And so you say you had the same coach for years, literally since you were sort of teenager, and presumably that's something that he's been working on there for what, like 7 years you've been working together then, or a bit more?
A bit more.
Well, since Nanjing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
9 before that.
Yeah.
9 years, I think. 10 years. Yeah, a long time.
And what's his name? Just so give him give him some shout out.
Boris Bjulva.
Okay, I won't try and spell that.
No. I have 2 different ways to pronounce.
So, and he does he work with any of the other Danish national team members as well?
Only me. But he had been trainer for Andreas Schilling.
Yeah.
Before he get in the junior years.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and presumably, he's been working on the swim. Then, is it something that you feel the progress has been steady, rather than you've not had any kind of eureka moments and just sort of, this is kind of really.
That's the hard part with swimming, because I think it's just a little bit progress every year, but not that big.
No big leaps.
Yeah, exactly.
But then at the end of a year like last year, you must be able to reflect and feel like, overall, to be able to have a season like 2021 and that first World Cup win, the under 23 world champs going really well, getting consistent World Series starts.
And there I was really motivated to get better swimming. Right. And I'm still motivated for that. So I've started to train with them. We have Aarhus is like a big city in Denmark. We have a swim team here, and I just started to swim with them and see maybe if that can help. Yeah. Okay. So we will see.
And is what is the sort of epicenter then of Danish triathlon? Where's HQ?
Actually, it has been in Odense.
Right.
But now it just it's not a center anymore. It's more like we have a center in Copenhagen and one in Odense and one in Aarhus. So I live in Aarhus, and we have some short distance triathletes, but mostly long distance triathletes. And then there are short and long distance triathletes in Odense and Copenhagen as well. So it's more spread out.
Right. Sure. And is that a result of kind of increased popularity and just wanting to reach out more? Do you feel like it's very much a sort of a sport in the ascendancy, that it's kind of growing and spreading and more people taking it up in Denmark?
Yeah, I think so, especially on the long course.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I suppose, it's obviously very different from country to country in terms of how things have, someone like USAT or British Triathlon have, big machine behind them. Norway, there was obviously a sort of a coming together of people at a certain point in time that has kind of really taken off. Obviously it's a close neighbor, but similar in size and so on as well, I suppose, country wise. Do you see Norway as the sort of the model? Is there a model? I'm just thinking back to the Lisbon qualification event as well, and get so close to getting three of you at the same time over the line to Tokyo 2020. And I suppose every team needs the strength in depth for their squad, basically, don't they, if you were going to kind of punch through. So how do you see sort of Danish triathlon moving forward over the next 2 Olympic cycles, to Paris, to getting a team on the start line in Paris, for example?
Right now we are a really small federation for the short distance race. Mm-hmm. So right now we are not that strong, I think, but hopefully there are coming some juniors up and they can help us so we can be a lot more athletes. And if some get injured or something like that, it's okay because we have another one. But I hope we'll be or become more athletes to do short distance race. And get a more national feeling about it, maybe go for training camps and stuff like that, because it hasn't been arranged for a lot of time now. But we just got a new national coach, and I hope he will figure something out and make a good progression in the sport for the next couple of years.
Right.
Yeah. Right now I think we're really spread out, and so I hope he can just collect us all and get us into one bubble so we know each other and we can motivate each other and we can help each other at different ways.
So I guess Lisbon. So for those that just thinking back to April or May of last year, and it was the Tokyo Olympic qualification mixed relay race. So the top 3 teams were always going to automatically qualify 4 athletes for Tokyo. And you guys obviously got off to a great start. You had the first leg, didn't you? And Sif Bendix Madsen was there. Is it Emil on the second leg?
Emil Holm on the second leg and Henrik Clemmensen on the last one.
And so ended up in 5th, I think, didn't you? But we're sort of certainly in the top 3 for a lot of that. And Henrik took the final leg, but he hadn't had a lot of sort of race practice up to that point, had he? I don't think he hadn't raced for a few years. So, I mean, was it? Had you had like you were saying, that as far as a national setup, it was all feeling a little bit spaced out a little bit maybe, but had you had in the build up to that particular race, as far as sort of, right, guys, this is the sort of moment, let's get us 4 together, let's try and get this across the line. How was the build up to that Lisbon race for you all?
We had some we were meeting each other at some point in Denmark, like then we have one weekend and we were just all together, and then one weekend later and something like that. So we were more together and more like a team. for that race, I think. And then we were going there and living in not a hotel or anything, but we were living in an apartment where we had to make food together, and we have to stay together like a small family. And I think that was really good, and it was so nice for the team. So we have decided that we knew everyone was doing their best on the day. So even no matter how it went, everyone knew that everyone had did their best performance. So we wouldn't judge each other or do anything. That was just, we just had to go for it and hope that it was enough. But it was close.
It was really close, yeah. I guess that, you said obviously watching the Tokyo Games at home, that must have, particularly for the relay then as well. Well, no, and for the women's race, you know, there's no doubt you'd have been up there, right? And the what ifs must have been pretty strong for you watching that back.
Yeah, it was in the middle of the night in Denmark, the race, and I had told myself, okay, I have to go for. I think I had to go to school. No, it was in the summer holiday. Yeah, I don't know, but it was in the middle of the night, and I had told myself, okay, I can just see it on replay in the morning, and I don't want to open my phone or anything, so I don't know the result. But then I couldn't fall asleep, and I was so excited about it. So I took my I just got into the sofa, and then I watched it the whole night, and it was just I was just so excited about it, and I was a bit jealous as well, but it was okay. It was just nice to see it.
Yeah. And it was obviously and it was a great podium, you know, three great athletes on that podium, and also I guess maybe underlined a bit, you know, you got Katie, possibly not quite so much Georgia and Flora, who've been hammering on that door of those Olympic podiums for a long time, right? And as far as for you that would be hoping to be part of that next generation hammering on the door, it's kind of, you know, there were no, like there were in the men's race, perhaps like no sort of 22, 23, 24-year-olds able to punch into that. So for you, that must have been another like, okay, this door is opening for me here. And, you know, do you kind of keep an eye on those around you coming through, like inevitably, and something like the under 23 world champs, no doubt must really kind of hammer that home a bit of who else is coming through and the sort of level that they're at.
So the women's race, I think they are a bit older than the men's race, the ones who wins. So maybe it will be some younger athletes winning in the future, but I'm not sure it always change the dynamics in the races.
And I mean, I guess Hamburg, the mixed relay in Hamburg then showed again what you guys are capable of and going to be capable of in the future, right? So tell us about that, and lining up together Hamburg, the kind of home of the mixed relay world championships, really the spiritual home of, and being able to pull out a podium together, does that rank as one of your sort of favorite race experiences to date?
I liked it a lot, and I really enjoyed it because it was a team. It was not just an individual performance, but it was a team performance, and everyone did their very best, and it was just, we were cheering at each other, and all of us had family down there because it's so close to Denmark. So it was just, that was actually one of the performances I remember the most, and I have always dreamed of having that big Erdinger glass.
Good to have a dream.
It was a good day.
Nice. Did you pour or did you drink? That's the big question. Did it go over someone or into you?
Yeah, actually, it went much more over someone than I was expected, because I really like to drink it as well.
It's big enough to do half and half. Still get the
Yeah.
All right, so that's probably unusually like one of those things that one of those memories that will stick with you then, like, you know, holding a big beer glass at the end of it. But you know, you've done grand finals, youth Olympics, 2015 2016 you did the grand finals as well, right? And with plenty of faces that you're still kind of racing with. And I suppose it's interesting, is it, to think that, you know, so that was 7 years ago, and again, not to sort of labor the point, but the patience that you have to have, right, to just sort of be chipping away and know that all being well, 2022 will be your first sort of full season, if this is the plan, is it, of WTCS racing and kind of going all out, and the patience has obviously been a result of injury and so on as well. But
I think the most important about triathlon when you start in a young age is to be patient, because you have to do so much training for so many years, and then you will be maybe at your best at 27 or 28 years. So it will be just almost a whole lifetime you're just doing triathlon. So you have to find something, you have to find a balance where you think it's nice and you're getting motivated for a long period, and many years. So you have to be patient, I think. It's the most important.
But you've also had, you know, your first WTCS results were really good ones, right? You know, you weren't sort of at the back of the field and being demotivated and feeling maybe, or, you know, there must be plenty of people that make the jump up and feel a bit out of their depth, whereas you were getting, you know, top 20 easily, right? 14th in Hamburg, 23rd in Abu Dhabi, and it was 30th in the standalone world champs, wasn't it? 2020, the only WTCS of that year. And that was your very first WTCS apart from the mixed relays.
Yeah, it was a point where I was thinking again, okay, I have everything to win and nothing to lose, but now I just have to go out, and I know I will the other athletes will be so good. So I just have to do my best and follow as good as I can. But it was nice to try it, but it was also a bit hard, because you know that you will be finishing like 30 or 40 or 25 or anything like that. So it's just in the middle of everything. So I think WTS is good to try, but I had to combine it with some European Cups and World Cups as well. So I'm not, so it wasn't so hard.
And was Edmonton, so silver in the under 23 world champs, was that your last under 23s? Are you now? Yeah.
Now I'm senior.
So that is, you know, apart from the fact you were obviously doing the WTCS at the same time, but I guess psychologically, finally saying goodbye to the U23 must be like a pretty big step. And does it suddenly become even more serious? Is this when, you know, it's been serious for many years, but it's like there's no excuses now. This has to be the time where you're plotting towards those first podiums at the very top level?
It means a lot to me. Triathlon means a lot to me, but I think there's a lot of different things in life that means a lot to me. So I think I will always do my best in training and competitions, But if it's doesn't work out, or if I have a bad day or anything like that, I know I have some good friends and I have a good family and I have a study back home. So then I will just move on and go to the next one. It's not, yeah, it's not that big in my head, I think. You know, I'm not thinking, okay, now it's now. It's more, I'm thinking, okay, I will do my best, and I will, then we'll see how it happens. What happens.
Fantastic. Well, I obviously we'd like to sort of do a little quick fire round as well with you of some of these questions that we're asking everybody. Just, are you ready for this?
Okay.
Your breakthrough race, the race that you walked away from and felt like things had really clicked.
Yeah. World Cup Portugal.
Yeah.
It was, and it was a senior race. So I think, because otherwise I would say under 23 world champs, but that was under 23. I think there's different. Yeah.
Who would be your perfect training partner for a week, and where would you be?
Actually, I think it's my sister.
I wondered if you were going to say that after you. Yeah.
Because we can talk about everything. So that's nice. And it will be, I think it will be Club La Santa at Lanzarote, where I was on training camp.
Lovely.
Yeah.
All right.
Nice place.
Excellent. Biggest inspiration? I know you said that there's not necessarily a single person or thing, but is there anyone, would you say, given it you've had your coach for 9 years, is it him or?
More, I think it's Nicola Berg, because she has studying law besides, and I think, okay, if she can do it, I will try. See if I can do it as well.
Your strengths and weaknesses as an athlete?
Weaknesses, that I don't want to do it like the one thing in my life. I think that is my weakness. But it's, at the same time, it's also my strength, I think, because something like that.
And like you said, it's particularly for the women's side, it's more like late 20s that perhaps the best results come, right? So that can change. There can be that moment where you're like, wow, I'm close to absolute magic here, and being the next.
Then I will take a year off, and then I will just do a triathlon.
Yeah,
I have decided that, and I have and I've told myself it will be okay to take 1 year off from school at sometime if it's just really if I'm doing really well in triathlon. So that time will come. Hope so.
And outside of triathlon, or outside of triathlon and dentistry, what how do you switch off?
Yeah, I'm really bad at it, actually. I'm really, really bad at it. But I think then I will just make some food and invite some friends, and then I relax, because that's the plan, to relax. So, yeah.
Something that people don't know about you?
Ooh. I'm a really open book, I think. I'm not good at keeping secrets about myself. So I think I will tell everyone I meet, I will just tell what I have done. Yeah. But so every people around me knows me. But okay, maybe I'm not so good at asking for help. Help you, I think.
Okay.
Okay. It was a really boring question.
No, well, I mean, but yeah. So, but do you mean you're not good at keeping? You're an open book about yourself, but you're also not good at keeping secrets of other people, or?
Oh no. I'm really good at keeping secrets for other people, but not about myself. Then I would just tell.
It's probably important out there in the
Yeah.
Okay, a top tip for a young Danish athlete coming through, maybe
I think I have three answers. Like, you have to be patient, and you have to have fun, and then you have to do some small competitions or challenging or anything like that in training. So so you can stay motivated for many years. And find someone to train with.
So if you keep setting yourself little targets, even through training as well as through a season, you think that's kind of a good, tick that off, always measuring yourself against where you sort of feel you might be and pushing yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. And be brave enough to try something new. Yeah.
Nice. Olympic distance, sprint distance, or arena games or eliminator format, what would be your, in fact, put them in order of preference? There's 4 there.
What about the mixed relay?
Yeah, you're allowed to put that in as well.
Because I really like mixed relays. I haven't tried the arena games.
Right.
So I don't know about that. But I know that I like mixed relay, and I like Olympic distance and sprint distance. And then I think arena games, because I haven't tried it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the elimination format, did you see any of that from Montreal or
yeah, I would really like to try that as well. I haven't tried it. I think maybe that will be my number 1. Because it should be nice, but I'm not sure. Yeah. I haven't tried it, so I don't know.
It was quite interesting. I can't remember who it was saying, maybe Martin Van Riel saying about how you get kind of what to a viewer could look just brutal in that quick turnaround. And he was like, actually, you get a bit addicted to that turnaround and to like go again. And I mean, you guys to varying degrees are all basically addicted to kind of beasting yourselves anyway, right? So it's just another layer of test and going again and sort of seeing where everyone else is, right?
Yeah, and you have to have a plan and use your powers or your strength at different ways and keep some energy, but not keep too much, because then you get eliminated. And yeah, I think that would be fun to try.
Is that on your, like, how much of your season have you sketched out already? Or is that going to be, that might be mid-exam time, right? If that's going to be June.
It is, but I have planned most of the season.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Okay, so actually that's my last question. Goals for 2022 and indeed beyond. And yeah, what are those first start lines you're going to be hitting? How's it looking?
I will do more WTCS races this season, and I hope to break more through, or to just get more into it, and feel that I belong there.
Mm-hmm.
Have that feeling, and then I just want to start the Olympic qualification period in a good way, and not get injured.
Fair enough. So actually, for you personally, is one of your longer term goals being one of 4 Danish athletes representing your country on the mixed relay, be it Paris, LA, but that is
go to the Olympic Games in Paris as an individual as well. I would really like that. Yeah, both as a team as an individual.
Brilliant. Well, it's been great talking to you, hearing all about you and getting to know you a bit better. And thanks very much for taking the time and coming on. What is first race of the year? What have you got lined up?
I think European Cup in Melilla, just to get started, and then hopefully Yokohama.
Great.
Yes.
Lovely stuff. First time in Yokohama, right?
Yeah, it will be my first time.
Appreciate it. Hope the build-up continues to go well, and we look forward to seeing you back out there very soon.
Thank you.
We look towards Brazil for the next guest in our series of Ones to Watch podcasts, getting to know a bit better some of the names that could be set for a big 2022 season. Miguel Hidalgo is the 21-year-old setting his sights on a bright future in Brazilian triathlon. Growing up in the interior of Sao Paulo state, He was first and foremost a swimmer, won his first national title aged 15, became a soldier in the Brazilian army, and most recently hit a first World Triathlon Cup podium at Huatulco in June 2021. Miguel, welcome to the World Triathlon Podcast. How are you? Where are you?
I'm good, Doug. Thanks for having me. I'm really honored to be here. I'm in southern countryside of São Paulo, in my parents' house, where I was born, and I'm used to train in the off season when I'm not in Europe.
Nice. Well, I mean, yeah, you just showed me a little clip of the view across the sort of tropical garden there. That looks pretty nice. Salto is obviously, it's a pretty small town though, right?
It's a small town. Really better for training than the capital.
Yeah.
Better roads. It's countryside, so I can start cycling from my house in São Paulo. We have to put a bike in the car, so here is a bit better for that.
Yeah. So how has 2022 started for you? So we're coming to the end of February now. What's it looked like so far?
Yeah. I've been training here. I raced yesterday in Chile. I just arrived today, and I finished second in the South American Championships in Elite, and I won the under 23. So it's a good start of the season. I arrived in Chile. I had some problems to get in Chile because of the vaccination. The government has to approve my vaccination, and they did it a bit late. So I arrived like 9 p.m. on Saturday, and I raced Sunday at 7 a.m.
Oh. So
it was quite hard. My legs was quite heavy, but I managed to finish second, and I think it's gonna be a good season. I hope so.
Yeah, well, that sounds like a good sign if you can do that after that kind of travel.
Yeah, it's the first time that happened to me, something like that. But yeah, you have to manage the situation, because maybe this can happen in a more important race. So I just have to do my job of racing everything I can, and I think I managed well this situation, and I'm quite happy with that.
So yeah, you were there with some of the other guys on the Brazil team.
Messias won the race, and Diego Moya from Chile took third place.
Nice. So a strong field, and presumably the first time that you'd seen some of those guys for a while as well. Was it like first time since the off season?
Yeah, it is. We know each other very well. Me, Diego, and Messias. I think we are just the only South Americans in the top 50 in the world rankings. So we know each other very well. We race a lot together, but in South America. And yeah, so it was a nice race.
Yeah. It was after Huatulco that I spoke to you and Manuel, or Messias. Is that how you, is he referred to mainly by his surname, is he?
Yeah, by his first name, but he's known by his second name. So
yeah, so you both obviously had spectacular Huatulco World Cups. You like the heat, do you? Is it safe to say you prefer a hot race?
Yeah, it is. I prefer a non-wetsuit race.
Yeah,
but I think we are very used to training in the heat. So I think we suffer a bit less than the Europeans or the Americans, Canadians, because we are used to training in this weather the whole year. So it's not a big deal when you race in a place like Huatulco.
No, for sure. Well, or indeed Abu Dhabi, right? I mean, that was well, it was that in fact the hottest race that you've been in. I mean, if you're doing a lot of sort of racing in South America and so on anyway, then presumably you just have to tackle whatever temperatures are thrown at you. But it did sound like Abu Dhabi was a particularly hot one, and obviously you produced one of the best races of your career, would you say?
It was really hot in Abu Dhabi, but I think the hottest race I have ever been was my first elite race, also in Huatuco in 2017, almost like 4.5 years ago. Fun fact is that it was my first elite race in 2017. It's the same place where I got on the podium for the first time in a World Cup. So it's quite a special city.
Yeah. Good memories
in
for that.
Abu Dhabi, you're talking about Abu Dhabi, I think. It was a good race. I finished the swim like 5th, but I didn't manage to keep myself in the first group. And I did a good run, but I think I could have done better. But I'm still in the beginning of my career, and I think it was a good race. When you race just in South America, when you go to the WTCS level with almost all Europeans guys racing, it's a very different type of dynamic in the race, So especially the bike is really hard, really hard.
Mm-hmm.
And in South America, we are very used to like swim very hard and then just ride the bike easy almost every time, and then it comes to a running race. So when you go to Europe or WTCS level, it's a very different race. So I'm still getting used to it, but hopefully I can improve my results in WTCS in 2022. It's my main goal for the season.
Right. Yeah, I guess, is it it's a big generalization, but is it an accurate one then, that as a general kind of level, the biking in Europe is like the stronger?
We don't have like a big idol to inspire people in cycling and triathlon. We have Leandro Macedo and Manzan from the 90s, but I think we need a new idol to inspire a generation, and we are trying to do that, me and Messias, and create to inspire young people to be pro triathletes, and hopefully we can be like Europe in the future with like 3 men and 3 women at the Olympics. Would be really nice.
Yeah, absolutely. And presumably, like, the whole experience of Rio hosting the Olympics must have had a big impact across Brazil, did it? I mean,
I would say not much, unfortunately.
Oh, really?
I think it's pretty much the same.
Why do you think that is? I mean, there must have been millions watching it on TV, right? And the kind of just the sheer fact of having an Olympics held in South America for the first time, and that being in Brazil, I would have thought that would have had a big impact on people.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was not like I think the Olympics in London. Then the years later, we saw like Alex E and another very good athletes, but I think it still didn't have a big impact, the Olympics in Rio. But yeah, hopefully in the future we can see more athletes representing Brazil in the Olympics.
So as a kid, growing up there, and you started out as a swimmer, as is still strongly evidenced in your racing, when you started to transition a bit more towards triathlon, then if it was still a pretty minority sport, did people think you were crazy, or did you have good support from home, from school? How easy was it to make those first steps?
I had a very good support from my parents, because my dad used to compete in amateur triathlon races.
Oh yeah.
Since I was really young, and I started swimming with 3 years old. So I used to take swimming very seriously till I was about 15. Then I decided to race the youth nationals in 2015 in triathlon, and I won the race, even that I I was not training much cycling and running. I was pretty much doing like 9 swim sessions a week and 2 running sessions and 2 bike sessions. And I still managed to win the race. So I never won nothing in swimming. So when I realized I was going to be much better in triathlon, I decided to take triathlon more seriously. And then I started
You got
racing.
that first taste of victory and we're like, right, that's it.
Yeah, pretty much that. And then I decided to switch my focus to triathlon, and I started racing internationally. Just in the year after that, I raced the Pan American Championships in States. And from that, I started training in São Paulo in a triathlon club there named Pinheiros with another pro athletes.
Mm-hmm.
I was really young at that time, 15, and I was starting a new sport. And I raced my first World Junior Championships in Rotterdam in 2017 with a lack of experience, I would say.
Yeah.
And yeah, and from that, especially being South American, we struggle a bit more of getting used to that level of racing. So I think I never did a good result in the World Junior Championships. It was like a shock for me because I was not used to ride my bike so hard in races. And it was like a shock every World Junior Championships. And I started getting more used to it when I started racing elite races in Europe, World Cups, and WTCS. So I started getting used to it.
So at the age of 15, like, were you then going to school in Pinheiros as well, or was Pinheiros like where you would go for doing training camps and so on, and life in Salto pretty much continued as normal outside of that?
Actually, Pinheiros, it's a Olympic sport club there. I think they have 22 Olympic sports there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I moved to São Paulo from Monday to Friday, and then I always come to my parents' house in the countryside on the weekends.
Right.
Because it's better for training during the long sessions, especially the long rides. And yeah, it's pretty much that.
So that really was the moment of right, I'm pursuing this kind of full time, like actually moving completely away from home and so on. I mean, yeah, only during the week, but still for a 15-year-old, that's in equal parts exciting and quite, I don't know, quite a thing to have to deal with, no?
Yeah, it was quite hard. I moved to a friend's house, and he was a training partner, and we was used to train together all the time. And then I go to São Paulo just on Tuesday and Thursday because I prefer to train here, even that I'm alone training.
Mm-hmm.
But I prefer to be here. I think I sleep better in a small city. My sleep is better here, is sleep quality. And so I go there just on Tuesday and Thursday. But when I'm still not in Europe in the race season.
So once the season begins, you would actually be based in Europe, would you? Is that like Portugal or? Yeah,
I think I didn't decide perfectly yet, but I'm gonna be for like 3 months in Europe in the European summer, training and racing, mainly WTCS races, but also World Cups. But I'm planning to go to Sierra Nevada most of the time.
Popular spot right now. A lot of people heading there, right?
Yeah.
How is that? From those sessions in Pinheiros, then with the team and so on, and then when you have like decamp to Europe and presumably trained? Who are some of the people that you've trained with in places like Sierra Nevada or Portugal or what have you, that perhaps like sessions where you feel like you're really just like absorbing lots of new kind of techniques and so on from people?
Yeah, mainly with the Brazilian team. In 2021, me and Messiah used to train a lot together on training camps. He was preparing for the Olympics and I was there helping him. So it was really good. I was trying to help him with his swimming and I was learning a lot. I was even that I was helping him, I still learned a lot from him, especially on running and bike. He's a really good runner. So we shared some good sessions together last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were talking to Chase McQueen about his, he grew up as a swimmer as well, and particularly at Leeds, and you could tell that kind of swimming stroke was a very sort of pure pool stroke. And he said, well, maybe I've got like quite a long, effective stroke, but it's not necessarily a great triathlon swim stroke, right? There's different elements. Do you feel like, for example, is yours most effective if you've got a bit of clear water, and if you're actually if you're stuck a bit further back, do you find it harder?
Yeah, sure. That's why I try to always start really hard with a higher cadence. I had to change my technique a little bit from the pool to the open water. Now I swim with a really high, very higher cadence. Mm-hmm. But like Chase said in his podcast, sometimes when you go to a WTCS race, you think that your swim is not going to be enough for the first when you're racing for the first time, and I tend to start really, really hard, and then I finish the swim.
Regret it a bit.
Yeah. But now I'm starting to learn how to start not so hard, to not suffer so much in the end of the swim. But definitely I had to change my technique for a higher cadence kind of stroke. And you can also breathe a lot more when you go on a higher cadence. So I'm focusing a lot on my bike because I think it's my weakness on the race, and I think I will only show my whole potential on the run when I am able to not suffer so much on the bike.
From Lausanne 2019 Junior World Champs, finishing 30th. 2 years later, you're on the podium in a World Triathlon Cup, and that's in a period where there wasn't a huge amount of racing for obvious pandemic reasons. So what was going on in that time period that was proving to be so effective for you, do you think?
I think it was mainly the time of triathlon, basically, because in Lausanne or Rotterdam, I was doing triathlon for 2 years, in Lausanne 4 years. I think it's more like part of the process. You start improving a lot more when you race races like that, and you're getting more used to it. But I think it's more like the time of training. Now I have almost 7 years doing that, so it's quite natural, I would say.
Being able to actually,
you just have to be patient. You have to be patient because when I don't do triathlon since I was a really young kid. I started a bit late, I would say. So I think it's part of the process. It's a natural evolution, I would say. I think I learned a lot more racing than training.
Right.
Actually, I think one race day you learn a lot more than training, especially when you train alone. You don't know if you're doing well or not. You can compare numbers with another guys, and also your numbers on the bike. But I think when you race a lot more, you start learning how to actually, you learn how to race. I think physiologically, I was able to do really good races in like 2019 or 2018, but I didn't have that experience to show my whole potential in races. And I think when you race a lot more, you start to learn how to show the whole potential you have, you know.
Yeah, so somewhere like Abu Dhabi, where finished 20th, is that right? Or
yeah, I think 21st.
21st. I think. But ahead of a Jonas Schomburg, a Morgan Pearson, and Aaron Royal, you know, some big hitters. Heading towards the end of like a year that, you know, that Olympic qualification kicking off the following year again and so on, then that you started to feel like things were definitely clicking, and that you belong on that WTCS start line as much as anyone else.
Yeah, I started feeling that. It was actually Abu Dhabi. I think it was my third WTCS. My debut was in Montreal, where I finished 11th. I think it was three weeks after Watuku. I was feeling really good there, and you know, I think Montreal was my, I would say, breakthrough race, where I started believing that I belong to that place. I deserve to be there. And before that, I didn't know what to expect, really. And when I realized I was like swimming with guys like Richard Varga and Vincent Louis side by side, I realized I have a good potential to maybe, when I prove my bike and running, I can fight for a podium spot maybe in the future, hopefully very soon.
And is that Montreal elimination format something you're going to be particularly looking forward to again this season?
Yeah, sure. I'm going to be in Montreal for sure, and it is 1 week after Watupo, and hopefully I can do even better results than 2021.
I mean, had you done anything? Like, obviously you've done a handful of mixed relays and so on, but you know, that short recovery period between races, and was that totally new to you?
Before the race, I think I've done 5 to 7 sessions simulating the Montreal format, resting like 10 minutes between. So I was physiologically quite used to it, but I was doing the sessions alone. So with more people side by side with me, it was quite different. And it was my first WTCS, so the lack of experience, it was quite a big thing. But I was feeling really good physiologically. But yeah, I think I can improve this result in 2022.
Yeah, it seemed like a very there's obviously things in that format that you just can't train for, right? If you've, for example, trying to figure out where you are in the field when there's only 10 people going to be progressing and so on, when you've got like a big pack of people coming in and you're not really certain what number you're at, how do you kind of come around that? Or is it just got to go all out, and if it's, you know, you end up where you end up with leaving nothing out there?
I think in the second day, in the first time, I made a mistake on T1, and then I was in the back of the pack the whole time, and I finished in the last place to qualify to the second battery, and then I finished 11th. There's some things that you just learn racing. You can train 10, 15 times, but in one race you can learn a lot more, especially when you're not used to race at this level.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, in that case, let's just rattle through some quick fire questions as well. If your breakthrough race where you stepped away feeling like things had really come together, what's the one that you look back on?
I would say Watuco or Montreal. Probably Montreal because it was my first time racing against people I was used to just watching TV. So it was really nice when I was finally there, especially being in the front with the big boys almost the whole race. So I think Montreal is quite special, but also Watuco, I would say those two races.
Who is your biggest inspiration, both within the sport and outside it?
In sport, I would say outside triathlon, I would say Ayrton Senna.
Mm-hmm.
For all he represents in Brazil, I think together with Pelé, he's the biggest sportsman in our history. Because the way he raced, doing everything he could to win, it's so inspiring. And even that he passed away almost 30 years ago, he's still a huge idol here in Brazil. And
yeah,
in sport, I would say Alistair Brownlee, Javier Gomez, Vincent Louis, very consistent athletes. And I had the opportunity to race with them in 2021. So it was very special to race against them, against guys I was used to watching TV since 2013. I used to watch the WTCS season, and when I was racing side by side with them, it was really special.
And it was a bit of a last chance saloon, right? With Javi Gomez and Alistair now retired, the window was small for you to be able to do that. So that's a good.
Yeah, I remember watching those videos of Gomez versus Brownlee, and unfortunately, I didn't have the opportunity to race with Gomez, but in Arsacena, I raced with Alistair. He was trying to, I think, he's trying to qualify to the Olympics, and it was. I think he was starting with number 40, and I was 41, something like that.
Oh right, lined up next to him as well.
Yeah,
very cool.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was really nice.
He give you any little words of wisdom while you were waiting, or what was he like in that lineup?
I was using the Brownlee Agilis wetsuit, and I was using the Johnny Brownlee's colorway. And right before the race, he came to me and told me, like, "You're using the wrong color."
Nice. Yeah, you threw in a little curveball, give him something to think about rather than nice. So that was Arsacena. How did you, if you was did you end up next to him on the start line as well, or just in the lineup? Were you close to him through that swim?
Just in lineup. I chose a different place, I think.
Yeah.
But I finished this in Arsacena. I finished the swim, I think, in third.
Nice. Who would be your perfect training partner for a week, and where would you do it?
I would love to train with Eliud Kipchoge in Kenya for a week. I would say I love being humbled by single sport athletes because you have the opportunity to realize how much you can still improve.
Yeah.
When you train with single sport athletes. So I would say that.
Something that people don't know about you?
Let me think. I think that the place I did my first elite race in 2017 is the same place where I got on the podium in a World Cup for the first time 4 years later in Watuco.
Yeah. Outside of triathlon, what would you do to relax? What pushes your buttons?
I consider myself really lucky because when you chose the right job when your job and your hobby is pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
So when I'm not training and racing, I like to just ride my mountain bike, having no workout to do, and it's pretty much that.
Yeah, nice. So for anyone, young Brazilian, 12, 13 years old, who's kind of watching you now as well, what would be your tips for, getting into the sport, but also things that you've learned on the way that you have kind of held dear, formative advice or whatever that has really helped you?
I would say to trust the people you work with, but when it comes to doing a workout, a training session, or whatever, do it because you really believe it's going to be good for you. I think you always have to trust the things you're doing during the process, not because you do something because you really believe it's going to be good for you, not because someone is telling you that it is good. And I think it's more than a triathlon tip is to trust and enjoy the process.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, follow your instinct a little bit as well as whatever someone's telling you.
Yeah.
And who have been the kind of key coaches and influences on you over the last 4 or 5 years?
Mainly my coach, because I worked with him. Actually, he was my dad's coach, and I started work with him before my first youth national title, and it's the only coach I had in my whole triathlon career.
Oh yeah.
So he knows me a lot. And
what's his name?
I think
you have to give him a shout.
Marcelo Ortiz.
Right. Oh, very cool that he coached your dad as well. That's amazing.
Yeah, and I think he's doing a really good job because he knows me since I was a young kid, and he learns with me in the process as well. So it's nice when you are with someone since you're young and you know each other very, very well,
and you're faster than your dad ever was. That's good, right?
Yeah.
Was it in Hamburg that you had your first elite mixed relay experience as well in 2020?
It was in 2020. Yeah.
How?
Yeah, it was.
Because obviously, had things gone slightly differently in Lisbon, that was a deeply unfortunate situation with the wetsuit there. And
yeah, it was. I think I raced twice with the Brazilian team.
Mm-hmm.
In Hamburg was the first time, and then Lisbon. But it was a really good experience. Actually, my first individual WTCS was Montreal in 2021, but I raced the mixed team relay in 2020. I think we finished 13. I think. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But it was a good experience. But like I said before, you learn a lot when you race and in a level you're not used to. And I was fearing that my swim was not going to be enough, and I started a bit behind the front pack, and I gave everything I could in the swim, and I managed to be with the first group in T1, and then I was dying on the bike right after. But so there's some things you learn just racing. Like
you said, it's difficult, I guess, for a country the size of Brazil, where football is so utterly dominant. Formula One, I guess, was for a time as well in the Senna era. But do you think it would take becoming world champ to kind of really put it on the map?
Yeah, it's my goal. It is. I think we have the best fans in the world, they like a lot to support especially the amateur triathletes. They love to support the pro athletes.
Mm-hmm.
It's becoming very popular, but I think we still don't have this world champion kind of idol. And I think that if someday we can do that, I think this sport will grow a lot faster.
Yeah, I mean, Brazilian sport fans can be a tricky bunch, right? Rubens Barrichello, who followed in, I know he had big footsteps to follow, but he was given, he won quite a lot of races in his time, and he was given a hard ride as just sort of never being quite good enough, right?
Yeah, it's quite hard sometimes. Like in Lisbon, I got very criticized as well because my wetsuit didn't open. So it's quite hard sometimes, but most of the time they support a lot, and it's really nice. The support of them.
Did you find that the majority of those sort of negative comments after Lisbon were from people who didn't really understand? You know, is it a case of keyboard warriors just seeing something and just commenting on it because they didn't really understand the situation? Was that, and did that, if that was the case, did it make it easier to just sort of brush it off?
Yeah, I think so. It was more like they didn't know what was really going on in the race. It's something that can happen with a world champion, or Olympic champion, or a young athlete. It's something that can happen with everyone, and unfortunately, it happened with me. But I had a race riding the day after, so I didn't have much time to think about that. I tried to not be so much on Instagram on that day, and just switch my focus to the race the next day. So I think it worked. It was the first World Cup where I was on the front on swimming and on the bike, and it was my best World Cup result so far. And then I improved that in Watuco later that season.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's quite hard sometimes, but most of the time they support a lot, and it's really good for us. Especially, hopefully we can have a WTCS race in Brazil in the future.
Presumably, the fact that it was the likes of Messias with you on the team there helped. I can only imagine they were utterly supportive of the situation, right? I mean,
yeah, they was really supportive. To be honest, our chance to qualify there was not too high. To be honest, it was just 3 spots, and we didn't have much chance. I started, I think, my leg 1.5 minutes after. So being really realistic, we already knew that it was not going to be possible. So they was not mad at me.
No.
They was very supportive, and especially because they was already qualified to the Olympics. So this is not a big deal for them. But some Brazilian fans that didn't know that Messias, Luisa, and Vitória was already qualified, they was telling that they was blaming me because I it was my fault because the Brazil is not going to be in the Olympics. But because they didn't know that Messias and the other guys was already qualified, and they thought it was my fault that Brazil is not going to be in Tokyo.
Jeez. And that was mainly through social media, was it? Was that like something that you posted and then people were commenting on, or?
No, and some triathlon Instagrams in Brazil was posting some pictures of the situation. Yeah. And I saw some comments there. A lot of comments, actually.
Oh.
But yeah, you have to get used to it when you're getting famous,
Yeah. Hey, well, that's a good attitude. I mean, well, and you've obviously dealt with it like very well, and you're still very young, and you're still going to have loads of opportunities. So that, and it's one of those, isn't it? Everyone always says it's like the big cliche that you just kind of learn from every situation. And
yeah, I'm very proud that I could deal very well with this situation, because a couple of weeks later I got on the podium for the first time, and then I've done some good races after that. So I didn't let this to be a big thing on my season. I learned from my mistakes, and then you have to switch the focus from the future and forget that happened.
And presumably,
I like to think.
Sorry. Presumably,
you can talk.
The classic example of some of the people that had given you a hard time on Lisbon, then just, Miguel Hidalgo, he's performed amazingly. He's the future of Brazilian triathlon.
Yeah, exactly,
and you're
like that. Exactly like that. Yeah, exactly like that.
Fickle bunch, definitely. Take it all with a pinch of salt, as they say. So your first, obviously, you've just back from Chile, wind in your sails. You had a great Pan Americans in Cali, right? At the end of
November, yeah.
So you're feeling in pretty good shape and ready to attack 22.
Yeah, I'm training and in base training again, right after the South Americans, and I'm planning to go to Osaka and Yokohama right before the Olympic rankings to start in late in May. But I'm planning to do all the WTCS season and to gain a lot more experience. And, my main goal to the 2022 season is, to be there in the mix, being a protagonist in the race, not just there, and I think the results will be just a consequence of that, my attitude racing, and yeah, that's my main goal for the season. And if I would be very happy to be in a WTCS podium for the first time in 2022. It would be really nice. I don't know if it is the right time, but it would be really nice if it happens in 2022. It's really the main goal, that it is Paris 2024 and then Los Angeles.
Well, we'd love to see you up there, Miguel. It'd be great to have Brazilian up there on that WTCS podium, and we wish you all the very best for 22 and once the qualification gets underway.
Thank you for having me again. I'm really honored to be here talking to you. Thank you.
It's been great. All right, take care.
Thank you.